It's the weekend, so nobody will do anything here. That's pretty much what it amounts to. My evidence is important, but I can't go to the police here because they know I'm trying to turn them in. You pretend that physical assault is the only type of abuse that a police officer can commit. And my public pretender wanted to literally ignore every single crime, blatant crime committed against me by the police. I went there in person to show him evidence, and instead of looking at the evidence, setting a time to look up the evidence, he wanted to argue with me. He didn't want to do his job. And you get to see in typing, he types the right things, and his friend types the right things, but then there's the arguing over getting paid by the courts. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Why aren't they doing their jobs? And then they want it right on the 15th. Right on the 15th. If it didn't happen on the 15th, if you don't have a recording from the 15th, I'm like, I have recordings going back for literally years. All right? Not just here, but elsewhere. And some of the people who are stalking me here and affecting my life here are elsewhere. Them harassing the library and harassing Safeway. See, this is retaliation by predators for telling the truth. This cuts me off from resources. This puts me in a dangerous situation. And that's the thing with all of the witnesses there. They could have come forward right away. But I needed them to understand that they needed to be there when I turned it in. You're a witness. Please stick around. Please be a witness. You get to see how many of the witnesses who were there for these situations, they've spoken to me about it, but they've never come forward to the cops about it. The very few that claim that they have, they've shown no evidence. Now, there are people like Claire Jordan who I want to believe. I absolutely do. I've met her in person, and she's wonderful in person. Except stressed the fuck out, and so am I. The two of us helping each other out. By the way, I'm better equipped to help her than she is to help me because, well, mentally we're both having issues. But her issues prevent her from making the connection of her issue and mine are different. And her vouching for a bunch of stuff that's not what I'm going through, that does make a difference as far as class action suit goes. But that does nothing for the criminal acts committed against me that have continued for all of these years. None of my predators have to record anything that I've done that's some horrible act. They just have to pretend that I did and I get harmed. I get harassed. I get bullied. I get assaulted. I'm shaking like a leaf. I'm in the situation that I'm in. I'm getting people harassing me about what's on my YouTube channel. I'm doing the right thing. I'm making sure that I speak up the only place that I'm allowed. The only place where someone might hear me, because there's plenty of people who get on and they see it. Maybe one of those people will do the right thing and help to turn it in. My YouTube channel isn't about the viewers. It's not about any of you. And we can make it about you. You can make a difference. But not by using this like it's a fucking talk show or therapy. Making it all about you. No, I'm here because I'm looking for someone who is willing to work with me one-on-one. Who's not completely full of shit. Who's not going to try to deter me with negativity. What's the right thing to do? Is it to look the other way? Huh? Yeah, I'm fucking pissed at Claire for not understanding. The reason that I know so much about so many people is because they all make it about them, and you can tell that with them talking about themselves. That doesn't help the victim. Meanwhile, a lot of people want to pretend that I would kill the witnesses. Absolutely fucking not. See, when these people do horrible things to me, you got to hear with John Stevens. He assaulted me twice in the same morning. Wanted to pretend like I tried to touch his balls. Got the whole goddamn recording. Still haven't been able to turn it in. These people who claim to care are busy getting drunk, getting drugged out of their gourds, or like tonight, trying not to freeze to death. I need another blanket. You can't call 911 without getting taken advantage of by police. It's called Adult Protective Services again.
To ensure quality service, this call will be recorded. The name of any person making a report of abuse is confidential and is not public information. Please visit www.mwsds.org for additional ways to report. You have reached Adult Protective Services of Polk County. This is an emergency. Please hang up and dial 911. If you're calling to report the abuse of a senior or a person with a disability, please hang up and dial 1-800-846-9165. This is a voicemail of Chris Schindler. My regular hours are 8 to 5. Please leave a message and I'll call you back as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hey Chris, I'm in a really volatile environment and I have to deal with a lot of drug addicts and a lot of alcoholics that are very hostile, very angry, very hateful, threaten to kill people, and threatening to bury people and all sorts of just it's horrible. I need to be able to get myself and my stuff safe, but rather than people helping me get my stuff safe, they've basically helped me to. By the way, that's not me throwing my tantrum in the background. I do apologize for that. Obviously, calling 911 is unsafe because they're just going to send the police that I'm trying to turn in. And they'll do what they keep on doing every time I try to turn stuff into them. They'll blow me off and tell me to send it to them, and then when I send it to them, they pretend they can't see it or don't answer. It's Sean Schwartz. Please help.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Close order. Is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Hey Claire, I'm letting you know that there's a safety issue, and again, I can't call 911. I'll get treated by the police horribly as always. Um, I still don't have any help turning in the wilderness stuff, and I don't have any help turning in Stafford stuff, and there's like 6 more new issues that have popped up all in the last 10 days. I mean, it's, ma'am, I'm scared for myself and for my evidence right now. Always. When you're with loving and understanding people that don't resolve things by screaming and shouting and threatening to kill each other, you can get a lot done. When you know that if you're abused, the people around you are going to do something to stop it, to even prevent it from happening to begin with. A lot of people don't have family. in all these environments, I'm not allowed to speak about my situation or show evidence, or I'm told no one cares, or shut up, or you just need to man up. A lot of these people, all the stuff they tell me not to do and not to talk about, they want to talk about that as soon as they get done telling me not to. These are people who tell me they're going to help me, and they want to help me by being nostalgic. When my dad got busted with 38 counts of cocaine possession with intent to sell, that was back in the 1980s. Recording devices were huge. I mean, they were big and bulky. Not as in they were all the rave or they were popular or anything of that nature. I do understand that there's multiple uses for that word. Shannon Alvarado's was worse than this. Shannon Alvarado would promise to help me every night, say as soon as Zanny goes to bed. But then she'd be up until 2, 3, 4 in the morning screaming at Rick, so Zanny never went to bed. You know what they do with victims here? They throw them on the streets. There's no safe place for them to go. One thing I hate doing is giving out phone numbers on the internet. React to it. And to the right person, because obviously I'm having a lot of issues. My fingers are freezing, so they're not wanting to work too good. And the more of this I take, the more likely it is that I'm literally going to scream at the top of my lungs for help. If you look on my channel for a video called Christian Threatening to Kill People, I'm sorry I'd type it in and put it in the chat there if my fingers would work right now. But he showed up and he was threatening to kill people. So I started recording. Them racist youngins began. And they haven't left me alone since. Then there's Chris Stafford and Andrew Wolnez. And breaking the protection order repeatedly, and the fact that I have no one to help me turn it in person. Like Valerie, she's willing to help turn it in court. She's not. Getting her to go in with me isn't easy. Getting her to make the time when she's not too busy. Then there's the fact that I'm running around in so many different directions trying to do what it is these people tell me I gotta do to get help. Like there's just too much of it. And then I'm not able to think because I'm stuck in environments where people are screaming and shouting at each other. And goddamn it, I left my cane over there. Oh. Rotten potatoes from last night. A lot of people, they have good intentions, but then when it comes down to it, well, for example, Shannon Alvarado kept a very dirty house. There was literally no place to work on anything. If I worked on it in the front room, her daughter would mess everything up, and that's something that we worked around. She had a room that wouldn't even open. The door didn't even open. And I worked on that room until I was able to get in and out. Someone being homeless means that they're a drug addict. Because people chose to harm me for no other reason than they thought it was okay. They thought it was okay because of things that never happened. People accused me of doing a lot of really horrible things to Natalie Bollinger. But the evidence shows otherwise. And there are lots of witnesses on my YouTube channel, and from time to time I do go back through and I collect a bunch of those links and I attach them to the video, either in the comment section or the live chat section. If it's in the comment section, it's after I'm done making the video. There's some remnants of Dennis and Creative still in there. And I'll see if people cook off. These people don't understand why I'm afraid of the police, and the problem with that is that even though my public pretender wanted to ask for that stuff, and I did start sending that stuff, he says that he can't see it. So he's making assumptions based on stuff that he can't see, but other people can see it. I sent it as a text message to the police just to get started. 3 messages, no replies. You see how they make it impossible for you to send evidence. I can't function through the screaming or the beating. I have to try to stand up for myself, but what happens when I do? I get treated like I'm a bad person because I stood up for myself. How dare I not just allow them to run me out of town? How dare I be pissed off that rather than arrest people who did wrong things to me, they'd rather try to make a profit. The money that mental health makes off of blowing off homeless people, it's horrible. You have to be able to trust these people. And when they're ignoring portions of what you're saying because they don't want to hear it, they've decided that it's not important. You're going to interrupt me every time I tell you details about already going to the police because you don't want to hear those details. They're still important. Just because you don't want to hear them as a mandated reporter doesn't mean they're not still important. How can I function when I am never in a safe environment? And don't argue with me the politics or philosophical about how, oh, well, none of us are really safe. The Russians could drop a bomb. Are the Russians dropping bombs on America every day? No. Are people abusing the homeless and the disabled every day? Yes. A resounding yes. I get disability money, so people have all sorts of ideas of what I should be doing with my disability money. And if I don't spend my disability money on what they want me to spend it on, I get yelled at, treated like I'm not trying. This is one of the ways people bully you into doing things that are not in your best interest. But you're forced to go along because if you don't, the cops will just say, oh, well, people tried to help you. You just didn't want the help. So you end up doing things that don't work by yourself because you've been promised by somebody that they won't make you go in by yourself. And then they're always too busy and they have some excuse for ignoring you for 2 weeks. Like Michelle Yoko Stewart. She actually ignored me for literally years. I think I have enough for a coffee at Center Market.
Hey Claire, I'm letting you know that there's a safety issue, and again, I can't call 911. I'll get treated by the police horribly as always. Um, I still don't have any help turning in the Wilmez stuff, um, and I don't have any help turning in the Stafford stuff, and there's like 6 more new issues that have popped up all in the last 10 days. I mean, ma'am, I'm scared for myself and for my evidence right now.
You don't get me confused, man. I ain't no fucking PC. I'll stab you right in your fucking eyeball and show you your fucking ass. Fucking heartbeat. Everything.
Chris Stafford there saying he's gonna get me. Jesus fucking Christ, y'all are fucking stupid pieces of shit. Yeah, I wasn't able to get it recording fast enough. Not like I have anybody I can fucking go to. Colby Polivka assault. That was on Tuesday. It would have been Monday that the assault happened. No, do you want me to? No, I was just asking what's up there, bro. What's up, dog? But no problem. Are you a fucking tweaker coming up on me for no reason? Now you are being recorded. Just leave people alone. Just leave people alone. Get out of here, dog. And nobody was recording you. Get the fuck out of here. Dude, there ain't no reason for you to start shit, you fucking tweakers. Clean your mouth. Just leave people alone. How about you get the fuck on, you fucking piece of shit? Don't be starting shit with people. Do not try to assault me. Scared? Do not hit my things. Knock your shit off, you tweaker fuck. I didn't even touch you. Jesus goddamn Christ. Nobody come up on you. Nobody started shit with you. Nobody did nothing.
I was just asking a question, okay?
You're
I
fine.
apologize.
You didn't come up on me doing anything rude. Your question was valid, and I understand why you asked it. There's no personal anything against you. You didn't do anything wrong to me, and I do apologize. Thank you, man.
Yep. Have a good night. I'm sorry about that.
Good. See, that lady wasn't looking for any problems. She was just asking a question. And this dude starts looking for all sorts of... Like, seriously, I can't defend myself. Dude can see I got a cane. Lots of people want to tell me, oh, well, you should smack him with a cane. Oh, this is one of them canes that goes into pieces. So it's easier to put in your car and put in a shopping cart and stuff. You start swinging this, it doesn't work like nunchucks. Once I show people that it comes apart like that and swinging it at people is just going to result in me getting beaten down with my own cane. They go, oh, we'll just swing them like nunchucks. Like, oh my God, dudes. Like, do you live in a fantasy world? Yeah. Problem here is I'm afraid of the cops. I'm also afraid of the cops for good reason. There's lots of people here who can verify that I have good reason to be afraid of the cops. But they're also afraid of cops. That makes shit difficult. Let's see if I can find a fork or something I can use as a fork. Try to find that some drop on the table. Whatever. Mm, mm, mm. If someone who actually cared about me had been there for any of those situations, they would have helped to turn it in right away. I don't know who Sir David the Three is, but this person calling themselves Buffy the Vampire. Oh, message retracted. Alright. Are you here to help me to turn in the situations I'm stuck in, or the abuse I have to endure? I keep on making calls. Mm. It's not a bunch of evil people doing a bunch of evil stuff to me. It's a bunch of people who didn't listen to begin with, and it became a major issue of abuse. There's a lot of people who are involved in that abuse. That includes threats, harassment, intimidation, and assaults. If I go to the cops, I'm blown off. Like it's not a major thing. I'm told to defend myself, to protect myself, and I'm not allowed to do any such thing. That I can, in between the two of these, I can probably make almost for real coffee. With many of these environments, I wouldn't know about the abuse in those environments if I hadn't been in them. And I can't speak about the abuse in those environments, or those people won't tell the truth about the situation. If I let them leave out the details of the horrible things that they've done, then they might, they claim. And then I have to wait, right? I have to wait for a maybe. In reality, they're just trying to drag out the clock, make any promise they can for you not to turn them in and not tell on them. Or they'll threaten you and your friends and family. I've been through it before. Natalie did what her predators wanted. It's pretty obvious. Ted Bollinger still has a hold over everybody in that family. That's pretty obvious too. Meanwhile, everybody in that family has told me that he's evil. Of all these people, Rose M. Kelly should be the one taking care of me. She should be the one deciding where my finances go. She's the one who should be deciding my fate. My personal opinion. I believe she deserves to know the truth about her daughter and I, why we were friends. And I think if she read the messages between Natalie and I, it would surely make a difference. Natalie and I were friends. She was afraid of how her family would treat her and how they would treat me. She said they wouldn't be mean. Well, they were mean. They were mean. They didn't care that it was me. They wanted to jump to conclusions. And Natalie could have told them the truth. She could have corrected them on it. She chose not to because she was embarrassed, which is not my fault. It's not my fault that that phone I got from Alicia was broken. Mandy Singer was explaining about that being a control issue. Well, that's assuming that Alicia Bollinger did it knowingly, willingly, and intelligently to screw me over, which I don't think she did. I believe that she legit was trying to give me a gift for my birthday, and that's literally what she gave it to me for. It's my birthday. But that phone caused all of these problems. And that doesn't matter, does it? You tell me it doesn't matter, it's in the past. But people are still hurting me over it, so yeah, it does matter. These people have promised to help me how I need. They don't end up helping how I need, do they? They end up making excuses why they can't. They're sick, they got cancer, the kid got beat up at school, or got busted stealing. Or they're depressed. They want to eat up my time by playing victim in their own lives. And many of these people, they literally manufactured their entire life. They made it up. People like Layla Johnson, aka Missy Johnson. She was getting into them Natalie Bollinger groups, pretending like she was a person that she wasn't. And also, she was getting into these groups and doing all this I'm in love stuff, all sorts of creepy. Meanwhile, I got to listen to these people talking about it secondhand. They're not sending me any screenshots of it. They're just expecting me to do what they want right when they want it. And that's the thing, is show me proof. Don't just tell me what to do and show me no proof of why you want me to do it. Show me why. If you're going to tell me these things happened, prove it so that I have something to take into the police. All these people who were angry about what's on YouTube, well, they had every opportunity to do it without it having to be on YouTube. By paying attention to the story, looking at the evidence, and recognizing that if I'm being talked over, I'm not being heard. A lot of people threw me away right after Natalie was killed. Like, immediately. And then later on, they wanted to send me friend invites on Facebook again. This person calling themselves Buffy the Vampire Slayer typed, "I'm not sure what's going on, I just saw this. Dear David the Third, I hope this message finds you well. I want to extend my sincerest apologies For my recent actions, I realize now that I may have caused you discomfort or inconvenience, and I'm sorry. My name is actually Sean David Schwartz. Um, Ezra, who goes by a savior, typed hi again. Your internet went out again earlier. I know. Buffy typed I was at the gym. Well, I'm in a place called Tillamook, Oregon, which is not where my story started. Suki Kim typed, wear samurai over legs. You like Japanese man and long beard. Not so much. Um, Long beard, for certain. I've been told that I should go to Asia because Asian women like beards for some reason, but I don't know that all Asian women like beards. I think that's just something they say. If I was in Japan, I don't know where I'd live. There's lots of things I'd like to do for a living that I'm no longer capable of. There's also a lot of interests that I have, so there's a lot of possibilities, especially if there's custom handcrafting still going on over there. I like the way ancient things are made. When I first got into blacksmithing, it was after I left Virginia, and everybody wanted me to make them knives and swords, and I told them no. I made hammers. That's what I made. I made hammers. All these witnesses to these situations that I've been able to prove actually exist. The police tried to pretend that I made them up. They were figments of my imagination. They even tried to pretend that the situation with Natalie was a figment of my imagination that I made up. That Natalie wasn't real, that I made her up. That's because they didn't want me bringing up the abuse over Natalie Bollinger in court. They wanted the courts to believe that I was a delusional schizophrenic making everything up and that there was no evidence. And the police had good reason for doing this. They didn't want to get in trouble. They committed felonies repeatedly. You notice how right now there's no screaming. It's temporary. Right now, at this very moment, there's nobody throwing rocks at me. That's one of the things about many of these 911 calls. Right after I was assaulted, I had to call 911. But I had to relocate before I could call 911. Otherwise, I was going to continue to get beaten on. And after I relocated, they wouldn't say, "Oh, well, are you getting hit right now?" No, I'm not. I relocated. Hmm. Mm. Wrist control. That's something you can learn from the Japanese. All right, so let's say you go to throw somebody, they come to grab you from the back, right? We see this on all the martial arts training videos. Everybody wants to show you this. It's like the simplest trick. Grab them by the arm. Let's say, let's say this is your shoulder and this is your arm. You bring theirs over and you pull it like this and you fling your body forward and they go flying forward. Now with wrist control, you force it so that they hyperextend themselves and they fly over you different too. And it makes a funny noise. It's not so funny if you're on the receiving end. What do people know about Japanese society and culture? Mm. I'm still trying to rehab my right hand. I use it as often as I can, but it bugs me. You can thank Officer Waylon Lolatai for that, as well as part of my limping. I can cook for myself currently, but I can't go shopping for myself. I don't have a place to put the groceries and cannot physically carry them. Mm. This is taters and cheese. It's a change up from the ramen noodles I usually eat. Mhm. I'm told that recording people live on YouTube being predatory is antagonistic. I disagree. It's necessary. If I record it and I am arrested or killed, nobody has access, so nobody knows. if I record it live, well, people might think twice about it. Ezra typed crazy stuff in that place. I would hate living in a tiny town. Well, it's the same for me everywhere I go, just so you know. Before Natalie disappeared, I was living in Chapel, Nebraska in assisted living. And the only reason that I moved out of assisted living is because I was told if I needed to get the abuse to stop, I needed to go to the Front Range of Colorado. Meanwhile, my disability money was from Nebraska, so Colorado wouldn't accept my insurance. They wanted me to become a Colorado resident, which I was not okay with. Ezra typed, what is assisted living? It's like for old people. People who can't take care of themselves. People with mobility issues, like people in wheelchairs. Or people who have back issues. People with physical disabilities primarily, some people with mental disabilities. That's assisted living. The savior typed, okay, I hear children. Actually, I'm pretty sure those are women. One in particular. Had somebody talking to some kids for certain. Might be some kids in the background now. Now, does that help to put a stop to the abuse? Does that help to turn in the environment that I'm in? The savior typed, is there a party? Yes, actually. They have square dancing at the Townsend Hall, one of the places where I've been assaulted about 3 or 4 times. Alright, someone calling themselves Chris Pratt typed, hey, I'm Chris Pratt, you may have seen my films. No. Sorry. Let me guess, they're making a Natalie Bollinger movie for Lifetime, and you've been asked to play the part of the crazy Sean Schwartz. What are the chances that the people who get on here and claim to be somebody famous are actually those famous people? Not very good. Now let's get back to my situation. This person calling themselves a savior. When I say Ezra, that's because it really creeps me out to say your gamer tags, especially on a channel like this with a situation so serious as this. Suki Kim typed, I'm shy, but me like you handsome. I I don't know how to say this nicely. I don't care. It would be so nice if people would stop making it about looks. If people could focus instead of on everything in the background. I mean, I got to try to drown that stuff out myself. It's hard enough to try to drown that out, and then of course the situation I'm going through and trying to explain, I'm stopping to read your comments because that's what I've been taught. You guys were taught that it's okay to talk over me, but it's rude of me to talk over you. In the places and environments that I was raised up in, it was either in the system or it was with drug addicts and alcoholics who were very strict. The alcoholics, especially. Um, the person calling themselves Chris Pratt typed, I've been in Mario, Guardians, Passengers, and Jurassic World, but that's a good sum. Alright, I've seen. Wasn't John Leguizamo in Mario? Guardians, Passengers, those don't ring a bell. And Jurassic. Like Jurassic Park? Are you one of the actors in the Jurassic Park movie? I don't know, dude. I'm homeless and broke. I don't go to the movies much. If that's part of the title to a movie, tell me the whole title and maybe I'll recognize it. Um, Fuck, let me see. This is easy to type. This is what the internet's for, right? So we can look stuff up. But it's not always correct, is it? People don't bother to check their information. Chris Pratt. Oh, that guy. Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes. I've seen a whole crap ton of previews. He he's kissing on a Orion or something. Um, or maybe an Orion with antennas. Is that it? Let's see. Guardians of the Galaxy. There's the Green Lady. Jurassic World. Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know about Passengers. The Tomorrow War. Haven't seen it. Mario Brothers. I haven't seen that one. I did see Super Mario Brothers back in the 90s. Jurassic World Dominion. He gets bigger. The Garfield movie. All right, so I guess this guy's is somebody I recognize. This guy types, yeah, that's me. Hmm. I got one for you. Look up the name Natalie Bollinger. I'll type it for you. Blam. So if you type my name on the internet, they got this thing called Everypedia. And it says that I killed Natalie. Meanwhile, the guy that killed her is in prison for it, serving 48 years. Suki Kim typed me, sorry, English not good. I like your brain smart. Well, thank you. Um, but I don't need compliments. I need help turning in the abuse in the environments I'm in. I'm glad right now there's no screaming. Chris Pratt typed, I got to read some more scripts, but I'll do it. I'll look it up right now. Yeah, they're talking about making a Natalie Bollinger movie like a year and a half ago. Natalie was a drug addict, and I worked for a place called Boho as a volunteer. I helped out homeless people to not freeze to death. Chris Pratt typed, should I audition for it? Um, you know, the rumors that they have on all this stuff about Natalie, if you see how many people bring her up, how popular she is, despite the fact that she was killed in 2017, there's also the abuse that I'm enduring right now, the assaults, threats against my life. I'm autistic. I'm not mentally retarded, and I'm not schizophrenic. And I get treated horribly for existing. I get forced into environments. There's this person on here calling themselves a savior has been on my channel a few days, so have a few others. They've gotten to see just some of the stuff in the environment that I'm in now. There's assault after assault after assault recorded on my channel. There's also a lot of people bullying me as a group. It's not just one person, it's a group of people. Chris Pratt typed, thank you, Suki Kim. Nice to meet you, too. I'm sorry. Well, I don't believe you're the real Chris Pratt, but I'm gonna talk to you as if you are, just the same. You might be a schizophrenic person who thinks they're Chris Pratt. You might be the real Chris Pratt. I'm a scientist, so I don't rule out the possibility that you might be the real Chris Pratt. However, this channel is about me trying to turn in abuse, long term abuse, where anybody can harm me, call me mentally ill, and magically my rights go away. Repeatedly, police officers tried to diagnose me as schizophrenic for trying to turn them in. This is after Natalie was killed, and they realized how badly they'd screwed up by not doing their job before she was killed. I'd gone to police in Nebraska and police in Colorado and police in Virginia about the situation before Natalie was killed and was blown off, giving me a list of papers for mental health places that supposedly help. Now I get told repeatedly by all these places that it's the cops' job. So why are the cops finding off everybody that they can call mentally ill off on the mental health places? Because number one, it makes money for the mental health places, and number two, it's easy to do. You don't want to do your job, and you don't want to deal with this person that you've already decided is just a nut job. You just pawn them off on somebody else. Who cares if they're getting beaten up? Who cares if the law says that you have to take it seriously and you have to investigate? You just call them mentally ill and nobody cares. Slander their name a little bit, omit a little bit of information, and it's fine. What's not fine is for police officers to attempt to diagnose me as schizophrenic because I'm trying to tell on them. It's not okay for police officers to press false charges against me with zero evidence for trying to tell on them. It's not okay for me to feloniously be forced to go to the police officers who harmed me to turn them into themselves. This person calling himself Chris Pratt typed, I am Chris Pratt. I just stumbled upon your live on YouTube. Well, it's good to have you either way. Thank you for coming to visit. This is, just so you know, the second most popular story in true crime. So there's a lot of people interested. I also curse like a sailor. That's because innocent people are being harmed and killed. There's evidence on this channel of people threatening to kill me and my friends and family going all the way back to 2016. But by the time I hopefully find somebody to help me to turn it in, so many more crimes have been committed against me. I mean, I can send you just the assaults from this month that I was able to record. There's almost a dozen. Just ones that I was able to record. One thing that I'm able to do currently, I'm in a very unsafe environment. It's a very uncontrolled environment, and there's a lot of people on drugs or alcohol who are making decisions based on their drugs and alcohol consumption. Here's one of the assaults. This is from the day before yesterday. Now, mind you, I record everywhere I go because I'm assaulted often. Now, I know this lady.
No, do you want me to?
No, I was just asking what's up there, bro. What's up, dog? You got a fucking problem?
Are you a fucking tweaker coming up on me for no reason? Now you are being recorded. Just leave people alone. Just leave people alone.
I was having a personal conversation.
Get out of here, and nobody was recording you.
Get the fuck out
Now,
of
that
here.
lady wasn't
Dude,
doing
there
anything
ain't no
wrong.
reason for you to start shit, you fucking tweakers.
Open your mouth.
Just
dog.
leave people alone.
How about you get the fuck on, you fucking piece of shit?
Don't be starting shit with people. Do not try to assault me.
Fucking scared?
What's up, do
dog?
not hit my things. Knock your shit off, you tweaker fuck.
I didn't even touch you.
Jesus goddamn Christ. Nobody come up on you. Nobody started shit with
Okay, I
you.
was just
Nobody
asking
did
a
nothing.
question. I was just
You're
asking
right.
a question,
And
okay?
you're
I
fine. You
apologize.
didn't come up on me doing anything rude. Your question was valid, and I understand why you asked it. There's no personal anything against you. You didn't do anything wrong to me, and I do apologize. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Have a good night. I'm sorry about that.
You're good.
That lady knows that I record. She knows that I'm assaulted often. She was just asking a question. There is no reason for the hostility. Now, the reason I jump to recording so often now is because I'm assaulted so often. That guy's name is Colby Polivka. He's one of literally hundreds of people who have assaulted me since the death of Natalie Bollinger. He didn't assault me and use Natalie Bollinger as an excuse, though. He thought I was trying to record him. I don't give two shits about him, as long as he's not threatening me or assaulting me. This is Claire Jordan. She lives in Colorado. Her children were kidnapped here in Tillamook. She was able to locate them herself, and she made it all the way to Florida. Somebody needs to get her story and put it up. The stuff that she had to go through with Casey, things that she had to go through to get her kids back, the runaround here in the system that almost made it impossible. I'm going to type in my email address. It's doggedroman@gmail.com. If you actually want to help to turn in the abuse, that would be a big help. If you could send me a message to doggedroman@gmail.com. I don't care if you're Jesus Christ, the devil, or Saint Judah himself. If I see a message from you, the first thing that I'll send you is a message from Natalie Marie Bollinger from 2016 when we were friends about the abuse by her father. Things are not what they seem. if that Chris Pratt person is the real Chris Pratt, and you end up with a role in the real Natalie Bollinger movie, I hope you don't play the role of me. You're too damn good looking. You pick somebody with a pockmarked face and a big nose. You pick someone who gets natural Jew curls right here, and you pick somebody who's bald. I'm not a ladies' man. Let's see. Chris Pratt typed, hello, Buffy. Ezra, that's a savior's name, typed, hey, all. Buffy typed, hey, a savior. Hello, hello, everybody. Chris Pratt typed, you guys should listen to Sean. I'm sorry, but this seems to be very important. I'm even taking a break from my work for Sean. I learned good English from Sean because he talks slow and sharp. Chris Pratt typed, that's amazing, Suki. I have no teeth in my head, so it's amazing I'm able to pronounce or enunciate anything. When people lie, one of the things that helps to pass a lie the easiest is straight teeth and a perfect smile. Look it up. University of Berkeley, they've done studies on it, several actually. A savior typed my ears. Yeah, I was probably cursing at that point. Suki Kim typed, thank you, Chris Pratt. A savior typed, who is screaming? Sounded like in your house, not video. There's a lot of people screaming. There's a lot of people angry about things that have nothing to do with me. What it does have to do with me is that I'm in this environment. Savior type 2 kidnapped them. A very naughty man who did bad things to them. I probably shouldn't go into more detail than that, but they're not the only people that I know that were kidnapped from here. There's a lot of videos of the racism and abuse that I endure here. There's also a lot of videos of me screaming myself about the abuse, about what I have to endure, and about the fact that I have to scream to get heard. Otherwise, people treat me as if I'm a submissive, as if they can bully me into doing whatever they want. Right now, I'm getting bullied by a public pretender. Many of these predators you get to see, they all use the same MO, all of them. They go straight for the mentally ill tag as soon as they get busted doing something wrong. The reason they do that is to try to discredit their victim, and it is classic gaslighting. Rando typed something that I don't know because I don't know Spanish. Suki Kim typed what Rando says. Rando types, hello, hablo español, lo siento, Suki. Something about speaking Spanish. The savior type, no, the people upstairs yelling, there is no upstairs. I'm in a garage that was made out of a carport. Literally, the walls are a fence. It's not a joke. You can see them. It's literally fence boards. That's the wall. I don't have Spanish translator on this, so I don't know how to do any of that. There's a lot of electronic stuff I don't know how to do. I don't know what Rando's typing here. I'm an English-speaking person. I'm not in France being rude to French people. I apologize that I don't know Spanish. I did spend a lot of money to try to learn both Japanese and Spanish, but I didn't have anyone to speak either one with. Anyway, I have to be afraid if I turn off the recording that more screaming or shouting or mayhem may embroil. I have to worry that there might be some bullying and confrontations. I have to worry that someone may come in here and steal my things. I have just enough money to go get a coffee at Center Market later on, but the walk there is perilous. There are multiple people that assaulted me this month, and I've seen many of them on the walk to Center Market, which is only a couple blocks away. Like 4 altogether, I think. One of them, his name is John Napier. Um, Another one, his name is John Stevens. Another one, his name is. Hold on a second. Alright, I should go through each of the assaults, I suppose. John Napier assaulted me at the Shell station. The witnesses that were there include a guy named Tyler, and he works there, and his coworker Amy. John Napier came up to me, hit me in the back, started yelling at me about messing with his family, which wasn't happening. And then he was telling Tyler that he was going to kill me. So then, the next day, it was pretty early, a guy named John Stevens was mad at me because something he said was okay. Andrew Wolnez, one of the guys who I've got repeatedly assaulting me, like that video that I just showed you of that guy assaulting me, that wasn't anything major. That was just a one-time thing, and he's probably not going to try it again. He's probably going to find out he's on video, though. Chances are pretty good, like with many of these other people. Andrew Wolnez is going to go tell these people who assaulted me that they got recorded and put on the internet. Well, that's just the way it goes. Chris Pratt typed, "Hey, I'm back reading my script for a new movie. I can't speak about it, but it's a great movie." Oh, that's all right, Mr. Chris Pratt. Go ahead and enjoy reading your script. I'm going to get back to telling the truth and trying to get help calling in the abuse in the environment that I'm currently in. Right now, there's a break in the screaming and the people beating on the walls and breaking things and being angry that their penises weren't touched. I have my stuff at this said unsafe environment, and the guy who says he owns the place is not the guy who owns the place, I've been recently told. Um, Chris Pratt typed, "Are you okay, Sean? This seems seriously scary." No, I'm not, Chris. I'm not. People have been harming me over Natalie Bollinger since 2016, and when it became internet famous in 2017 because she disappeared, in 2018, in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and now 2024, people are still making stuff about it. Still calling me crazy. Still refusing to look at evidence. My predators still dig through and try to find just a few words here and there that they can misconstrue as me threatening to kill people. Meanwhile, nearly all the people out here on the streets who offer to help me, they offer violence. Andrew Wolnez with all the assaults against me. Cynthia Napier was trying to help me put a stop to it, and so was her daughter, Mona. Chris Pratt typed, "What are the top 3 crime cases? Because I need to tell my manager and PR team." Okay, the first one is Natalie Bollinger. Hers is one of the longest lasting. And by the way, it starts in Boulder, Colorado, the same place as Jean Benet Ramsey's story. Same thing with mine. That's where me and her met. Um, I was in prison for 7 months. They had to drop the charges due to lack of evidence. That's right, I was in prison without being convicted. That's where I met Sarah Nelson Torciello, and she's of Lincoln, Nebraska. By the way, there were three of them there that were involved in that. Um, in Chapel, let's see. Actually, the three biggest in this one, um, Waylon Lolitai. He was a college football player turned police officer. He hurts homeless people for a living. So, news. Copy link address. I just picked one at random. We'll post it in here. Sarah Nelson Torciello is now in prison. She was the assistant warden at the prison. She's now in prison herself for sexual assault against inmates, which I had to turn in sexual assault by guards against myself to Sarah Nelson Torciello and another female guard named Michelle Decini, who is also in prison for sexual assault against inmates. There's also Clearview Behavioral Health, and you can literally make a horror movie about Clearview Behavioral Health. They've been shut down permanently. Right now, however, I am in a very dangerous position. Got to make sure we type Johnstown, Colorado, otherwise you'll go to the wrong one. Clearview Behavioral Health is permanently shut down. They literally killed people. Including Tibor Hate. So we'll paste that up there too. I have intimate knowledge in all three of those situations. When I tried to turn in the situation with Natalie's friends and family harassing me and harming me and continuing to do so, including Tim Beeson after Natalie was killed, Waylon Lolitai and several other officers tried to frame me as a violent schizophrenic. And that would make it a lot easier to railroad me and make me guilty of killing Natalie. Well, her killer is in prison. His name is Joseph Michael Lopez. So let's make it about Chris Pratt for a bit. Suki Kim loves Chris Pratt movies. Now you guys know that I get quite irate about people making it about them when it's a victim's story. And with my story, with people threatening to kill my little sister, how many people got a hold of me to let me know that they were being threatened? Let's type up some of these names. We can actually look these people up. We can look up their stories right here on my channel, matter of fact. We can hear their very words out of their very mouths. Some of them are dead. There's only one place you can hear Christine Buhit's voice. That's on my channel because she died. There's only one place you can hear Rand Ingersoll's voice. It's on my channel because she died too. I'm trying my best to be a voice for the voiceless. This one is called Marcia Estrada Sean David. Um, or let's see, Marcia Estrada LIMHP is the one we're looking for. This is my mental health professional. When I went to my mental health professional, she did not believe I was schizophrenic or delusional. Stated outright that I am autistic. She stated outright that I'm not schizophrenic or delusional too. She also stated very specifically that I have post traumatic stress disorder. That's the one that people get to really take advantage of. I'm afraid to speak, especially with alcoholics. That's where a backhand comes from, or a punch to the gut. That was my dad's favorite one. He loved the sound of the air coming out of me. Now, I obviously don't hate any of you. I hate the situation. I hate being abused. The one with Marcia Estrada shows that she knows several of my predators in professional positions of power. Over 20 of the government officials and or officers that I have turned in for crimes they committed against me and been blown off. Over 20 of them have been arrested for doing those things to other people afterwards. Someone calling themselves Jalen is now here thinking they're special. Welcome, Jalen. We're showing evidence of some BS. I'm gonna grab a link here to I was accused of stalking Natalie. Now this one here is a conversation with someone that I tried to see in Virginia. And it's about the situation with Natalie and the so-called stalking. He speaks about the situation and remembering the situation and the conversations. I had to do that in a bathroom at a Starbucks in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I don't have a party, and we're not gonna give you any attention as far as the party goes. There's a lot of abuse going on, and I'm currently in an abusive environment where I have to be afraid for my safety and the safety of my evidence. I also have to be afraid of the police. I've been stalked by Natalie Bollinger and her friends since 2016. Natalie Bollinger was killed at the end of 2017. Many of the people who were her predators that remained in her life became my predators as well. So, a lot of these people assault me and pretend that I'm some sort of a pedophile or rapist, and that's their excuse. And these so called Natalie Bollinger channels, what do? Nothing good. They spread a bunch of slander and try to take little bits and pieces of what happened and turn them into something they ain't. And that's never okay. I'm gonna play another video for you though, because Moose, that's Brett Roloff's street name, I went to see him, and here's a video from there. It's called I Came Here for Help, Not to See My Friend OD. Yeah, when I got there and my friend was going to help me, my friend was strung out on methamphetamines. And so was his girlfriend, and they used me as a point of contention and argument the whole time I was there. You guys are obviously caring about the bunnies more than what I'm saying. You're caring about the chat more than what I'm saying. My hell doesn't matter to you. I'm sorry that the hell that I'm going through is boring you. I'm sorry if human trafficking is something that makes you type emojis or whatever they're called. People are a good measure of the state of things. Like these folks going off about a lot of things that aren't my abuse, they don't understand why my channel's here. I'm told that because I'm autistic, I don't understand uh, social norms. No, I absolutely do. They're stupid. Neurotypical people are more prone to lying, they're more prone to abusing. And well, we're at the highest tier for being abused. We're also likely to be killed by police for stimming. If you don't know anything about autism, you should probably look it up before you get somebody who's innocent killed. A savior typed, "I'm not bored, just sad." Well, that's the thing about the typing there. Could we try to make it about the abuse? Could we try to make it about the fact that I don't have a friend or family member to help me to turn in the abuse? So, when it comes to social etiquette and things like that, I understand it. I just think it's bullshit. Like, it's rude to speak ill of the dead. Well, you know what? Sometimes we need to learn something from the dead. There's a reason we still bring up Adolf Hitler's name all these years later. There's also a reason we bring up Gandhi's name all these years later. Now, you guys know what I do with trolls. You get on my channel and you start making it about you and making it about a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of rudeness, I'm gonna block you. So we're gonna block Jalen. Jalen typed Hitler. This is pretty cray cray, but I'm trying to have a blast, bro. Well, there are plenty of dance music videos out there for you. There's plenty of country videos. There's plenty of R&B. There's plenty of heavy metal and rock and roll. There are many genres you can pick from. You kind of look like a classical music guy to me. Not so much Mozart, but you might like Beethoven. Suki Kim typed, "I'm sorry, I try to be nice to everybody." Well, that's one of the things about being nice. A lot of times people are trying to be nice where they don't need to be nice, they just need to listen. I am glad that you're practicing your English. I do think that that is a useful skill and it is helpful for you. Jalen typed, "I'm sorry, I'll put my partying boots away." Alright, so I'm in a situation right now where I'm being harmed everywhere I go and treated like a rapist and a child molester and a murderer over a young woman who never accused me of doing those things. I've been prevented from facing my accusers in court. I've been prevented from going to my court dates, prevented from speaking in court, prevented from showing evidence in court. And when I try to turn in the professionals that are supposed to do something about abuse against at risk adults, they blow me off and send me in a circle of mental health. When I ask all these people in places whose job it is, they tell me it's the police. That includes at least 3 judges, at least 2 judges here in Tillamook, all over the death of Natalie Bollinger. Now, Ezra could type to you about what Ezra has gotten to hear just in the background here. This is my environment. This is what I'm stuck in. As far as looks go, please, could we refrain from those? People should be judged based on who they are, not how they look. Natalie, I get told how pretty she was. A lot of people, they want to know what she looked like, so they have a face to go with my story. They always want to tell me how pretty she was. If you look on Natalie Bollinger's last public post, where she's trying to paint me as some sort of a horrible monster, at that point in time, she was very much involved in getting back in with the same people that she had tried to escape from. There's a lot of people who promised to help, but they didn't try to help to turn in this abuse to the police right away. Much like with Claire Jordan, they wanted to set up an appointment and then not make their appointment over and over and over again. Meanwhile, for me to get heard, because my predators can call me mentally ill and pretend that I made everything up. Kind of like that guy in that video did. I'm gonna just slap my phone. How many predators try to slap my phone out of my hand? I don't need people buttering my biscuits. It'd be nice if we could focus on the fact that I'm being abused, but also you can see the chat is distracting to me. However, I keep chat on in case somebody wants to actually help, in case someone is actually serious. Now let me type this here. This is my email address. Later, Chris, I'm going to type my email address and I'm going to type my Cash App, which I finally got going. I don't think any of y'all are going to send me any money, and I don't think any of y'all are going to send me an email actually caring what happened to Natalie. But I'm going to put it in here anyway. Cash App / Dogged Roman. That's my Cash App. I'm posting it up here because I already posted up my email address a couple of times. My email address is Dogged Roman. And then at gmail.com. I put a space in it so that it'll actually go up. Chris Pratt typed, "This is chaotic. I gotta tune out. Sorry, Sean. I'll be back." Ezra typed, "By Chris." Jalen typed, "By Chris. I'm sorry, but your movies are amazing and I'm so shocked." Okay. Someone calling themselves Lovely Willow 98 typed, "I am so deeply sorry that you have been going through this for years with no help." There's lots of help that I've received, but not the help that I need. The help that I need is a friend or family member to be informed and actually fight for my rights the way that Claire Jordan is right now fighting for her children's rights. She's fighting so hard. Jalen typed, "I'm listening to some nice music. Can send the song on your email." That's alright. I'd rather not. I'd rather somebody focus on the abuse and helping to turn it in. Ezra, what kind of stuff have you gotten to hear? in the background of my videos. Chutchki. How about Tchaikovsky? That one's classic. Anyway, all my evidence is here. My ability to keep my stuff safe is it's non-existent. My ability to keep myself safe is non-existent. Willow typed, I am so deeply sorry that you have been going through this for years with no help. I came across you and Natalie's story earlier today, which is how I ended up here on your live. Well, thank you, lovely Willow, for showing up. I'm sorry I'm farting. At least somebody came here for the right reasons. Maybe you could explain about the TV shows. Maybe you could explain about the news. Maybe you could explain about the people pretending like I'm a horrible monster as an excuse to harm me. Suki Kim typed, if I buy 2 tickets to buy to go Alaska to see the whales come in, do you have documents to travel? I pay. Um, I don't know who you're typing that to. Probably Chris Pratt, I suppose. Um, unless he's Canadian, he shouldn't need any papers to fly from one place in the United States to another. A savior type, scary stuff, screaming man. Jalen typed about listening to Jay Z. Yeah, I'm gonna block Jalen now. None of what he's adding is useful in the least bit. Matter of fact, it's rather disheartening. Suki Kim typed, I ask you, Sean. Well, thank you for asking. I have always wanted to see the whales. Jalen typed, I'm real Slim Shady, and he's blocked. Um, a savior type, that would be nice. Suki, he was talking to you, scene. Alright, well, here's one thing that we're all not doing. We're all going off on this OCD magic rant about what you guys in chat care about. You're showing what you care about by what you're commenting on. A lot of y'all try to observe a social etiquette on the internet by saying thank you to other viewers who show up. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. That I can get. But this should be about getting me into a safe environment now instead of pipe dreams for the future. Maybe you mean those things, maybe you don't, but none of that matters right now. When somebody's being raped and they have to worry that they'll be raped again tomorrow, do they care that you're telling them you want to go to Disneyland and you want them to go with you? It's a good gesture, it's a nice gesture. Now, for many people, they don't like that I use the analogy of rape. First of all, I am a victim of rape. Second of all, what I'm going through now is worse than rape. I'm also not the only victim. I thank you, Suki Kim, for the talking about going to Alaska. I loved Alaska, by the way. I was in a little place called Eagle, Alaska. It's about 15 miles north of the Eagle Village, Alaska. They're both right on the Yukon. Beds were higher off the floor than I am tall. It gets that cold there. Of course, you got the pigs that come in for the winter. That's right, the pigs come in your house for the winter. Got to go to Russia or Siberia to hear stuff like that. Lovely Willow 98 typed, I will admit that at first I had the same thoughts that maybe it was the stalker man who ended Natalie's life, but I spent 5+ hours reading everything and viewing screenshots. Well, that's the thing, they painted me as a stalker and I never was. I was asking for help stopping abuse. It took over 6 months of people threatening to kill me and my friends and family, and assaulting me and separating me from my loved ones in Boulder, Colorado. It took 6 months of that before I ever cursed at any of those people. Oh, we got another person on here. They make a lot of accounts pretending to be famous people, don't they? There's a bunch of these. When you guys were typing the Chris Pratt feller, you'd be surprised how often that happens. Lovely Willow typed, I want to apologize for having the same thoughts about that your predators had / have. I truly believe that you had nothing but good intentions with helping Natalie. Eminem typed, I'm just an Eminem fan account, not the real one. Alright. Thank you for being honest about it. I'll let you stay. As far as what Lovely Willow typed, that's a lot more important because, well, let's read it. She typed that she was having the same thoughts as my predators. Well, that's because of the information you were given. The police weren't going to tell you anything that didn't fit the narrative that they wanted to sell. They didn't want to get in trouble. As far as nothing but good intentions with helping Natalie, you're absolutely right about that. Now, if you notice the part where I'm an asshole to Natalie, it's after 6 months of people threatening me, harassing me, assaulting me, making fake account after fake account to do these things, making fake accounts in my friends' names to harass me in emails and on Facebook. No freestyling in the comments, please. This is a serious situation. A savior typed, I think CP is legit. I think Chris was real. There's also a lot of people who have delusions, and I'm going to tell you this straight up because I was raised with a few of them. Well, a lot of them actually. Sometimes I tell the story of being in the system, and one of the kids I was locked up with, he was literally locked up for raping his sister to death. One of the kids I was locked up with killed both of his grandparents. The kid who killed his grandparents thought he was Metatron, the voice of God. There's other people that I've known that thought they were Johnny Depp. There's also people who made fake accounts pretending to be different news agencies right after Natalie disappeared, and pretending like they wanted to help me. Lovely Willow 98. Oh, there's a bunch of typing that happened there. Let's see. Suki Kim type, did you say no to me? No, I didn't say no to you. I did not say no to you. And if you make it to Tillamook, Oregon, maybe we'll go somewhere. You should meet me first. Lovely Willow 98 typed, it doesn't matter if the Chris account was real or not. Why does that even matter? Exactly, and thank you, Lovely Willow 98. At least somebody here has some understanding of the situation and how serious this is. Now, this person calling himself a savior, his name is Ezra. Whether he believes that the Chris count was real, which is what he's been going off on for about 10 minutes. I've asked him a few times to type about the situation here, and he typed about yelling. See, that's very vague. But at least it's an acknowledgement. Eminem typed, yo, let me tell you about Sean. He's the man with his swagger so fly. He's got the whole clan from the block to... please don't. Please don't. This person calling himself Chris Pratt retracted a message. A savior typed, that's really nice of you. Eminem typed, I don't like Eminem, but a fan. I can be Skittle. Chris Pratt retracted message that I didn't see. A savior typed, that's really friggin' awesome of you, Suki. And the savior typed, I told you it was scary. It is scary. It's really scary. I'm gonna tell you a rap I wrote once. Just because, well, that seems to be where you guys are going right now. I fell in love once and it never goes away. Although I know that she's a hoe, I love her anyway. I'm the kind of sucker the hussies go for because they can use me as a carpet while I hold the front door. I get to feel stupid for being naive. She told a bunch of lies I chose to believe. Now where do I go, my dear? I don't know what to do from here. I'm not just a good guy, I try to be the best. That's when you held my heart and ripped it out my chest. It's not nice. It's not pretty. It's not flamboyant. Now, can we get back to the issue here of me being in an unsafe environment right now? There's a lot of people who, right after Natalie disappeared, offered to help me. And they didn't. It was a bunch of web sleuths, each one of them wanting to get a little piece of dirt or information that they could share with their web sleuth buddies and these web sleuth websites. And when they got busted, they played victim. Many of these people, like Kara Johnson Miles, who pretended to be an autism advocate, was playing myself and two of Natalie's ex-stepmothers. Someone calling himself Dalton type. Wait, where is he? I was told Chris Pratt is here. Anyway, there's a guy named Mike Boudet, and he promised to help me, and his friend Josh got a hold of me. And I agreed to do an interview with them. The agreement, though, was that they were going to record the whole thing, and they were going to send the entire recording to the police, and that they wouldn't release the information until after Natalie's killer was caught. Instead, the guy, well, he had a history of doing so. I didn't know that because I was never into that true crime stuff, but he went out of his way to try to paint me as a horrible monster for his viewers. Millions of viewers. Suki Kim typed, I like Sean Savior. JD typed, yeah, Chris joined pretty awesome sauce. See, it's not about my abuse, is it? It's not going to be about my abuse. It's going to be about the Chris Pratt profile typing on here. Right now, I'm not getting yelled at, and I like that. But it's not going to last very long. I haven't seen my family in years. I haven't seen my friends in years, and you guys. Uh, I didn't make this channel for entertainment. I made this channel because my friends weren't worth shit. Neither was my family. They wanted to give me advice instead of find out what was going on. They wanted to tell me I just needed to love myself, or a bird in the bush is worth two in the hand. They wanted to tell me just to let it go and just ignore it. You know, it's real hard to ignore somebody who follows you. It's real hard to ignore somebody who comes into the grocery store and starts screaming that you're a pedophile and a rapist and a murderer. It's kind of hard to ignore somebody who walks up to your vehicle and starts kicking the crap out of the side of it. It's pretty hard to ignore when your sister gets a hold of you and tells you the police followed her right after she was going to try helping you turn in the police, and that somebody from Colorado threatened to kill her and my niece. I got multiple calls and notifications from my sister over a long period of time. So, Jaden, or Jade typed, damn, this turned dark quick. Yeah, it did. It's been dark. I've been alone in this for 7 years, 8 years. Suki Kim type what happened. Lovely Willow identified it properly. It's been dark. Lovely Willow, why don't you type for the folks here when Natalie Bollinger was killed? And then type the name of the guy who actually killed her so everybody knows. Natalie Bollinger never accused me of raping her. She never accused me of molesting her. Other people did that. They just wanted someone to take out their hate and aggression on, and when she pretended I stalked her, it gave me all the excuse they wanted. Dalton typed, you say you haven't seen your friends and family, etc., but then you say a lot of times you have no friends and family. Which is it? You're not just trying to understand. I have loved ones, people that I love very much, but they don't love me back. Jade typed two messages that he retracted, so I didn't get to read them. But you can see in this, we're not focusing on the abuse. We're not focusing on the fact that when I tried to turn in the abuse repeatedly, I was abused by law enforcement. They wanted to pawn me off on mental health. They didn't want to document it, they just wanted to push me onto someone else. I have no idea what kind of spam this Jade person is spamming up here, but it's not net and it's not help. Lovely Willow, if you could type in the comments section when Natalie was killed and who killed her, that would be useful. It may not seem important, but it is, and I'll tell you why. Because when you type in when she was killed, it shows that it was a long time ago. And when you type in the name of her killer, it shows that it wasn't me. It showed that it was checked by somebody and verified by somebody, because most of these people in chat aren't going to look up a goddamn thing. Jade typed, I'm not trying to spam, I'm being pretty darn kind. Well, I didn't get to read the ones that you retracted. If you had a typographical error, own it. Leave it there. As far as the we can walk wherever we want, that depends on who you are. Jade also typed Joseph Michael Lopez, so at least Jade looked it up. Willow came here because of the situation. Now, how many of you believe what you hear on those Natalie Bollinger sites? Now, mind you, if you believe everything that you hear in the first one that you listen to, you're only going to be able to believe half of what you hear in the next one. None of them tell the same story. All of them are speculating because all of them want to pretend that I must be a liar, that I must be crazy and making it up, that I must be a stalker. One thing that none of you pay attention to is all of the illegal activities that it took to prevent myself and my evidence from arriving at court. Repeatedly. It's easy to win if you prevent your opponent from showing up. Lovely Willow typed, Natalie died in the end of 2017. It seems as if she made that post about you being a stalker to frame you. Since she put a hit on herself via Craigslist, she was shot in the head 3 feet away. 6 to 15 inches, actually. She was wearing a black hoodie, black pants, black bra, black panties, black shoes, and mismatched socks. She was on her knees at Macintosh Dairy outside of Thornton, Colorado. Joseph Michael Lopez shot her at 6 to 15 inches away from her head with her boyfriend's 9mm Glock 19. That's what Natalie Bollinger got out of being friends with me. She stopped me from killing myself. Look what she got for it. Everyone threw me away when I hurt my back. And Natalie Marie Bollinger was the one person who recognized there was a problem and I needed help. She's the one person that didn't try pretending that give me a goddamn pep talk when they fucking fixed my back. She's the one person who gave me a ride with all of my fucking baggage so that I could drop it off and have at least a bag that was manageable that I could carry. She tried to help me get a job working with the Save the Bees thing because I wouldn't have to do any heavy lifting. Natalie bullied me into going into Virginia. We'd planned the trip, but I wasn't able to make it. She bullied me by threatening to kill herself if I wasn't already on the road. And she wrapped her car around a telephone pole. Yeah, I went. She said her family was driving her to commit suicide. Over a year later, she told the same thing to Joseph Michael Lopez. She was my friend and Jade typed, I'm educated very much. Please do not disrespect my knowledge. Sean handed out blankets to the homeless. Bet you didn't know that, Willow. Yeah, 7 years I did that. I didn't just pass out blankets, I walked people to the warming centers. Also, it was illegal for people to use those blankets. So I walked around every morning to wake up the people I gave the blankets to, so they wouldn't get a camping ticket for using a blanket so they don't freeze to death. Natalie Bollinger one morning, they were under the Boulder Public Library. She was in a sleeping bag with one man, and Alicia was in a sleeping bag with the other. They were both obviously underage. They were 13 at the time. One of those homeless men was Arturo, and the other one was Emery. They were both grown ass men. I didn't accuse them of doing anything other than what I saw. Grown ass men. If you're gonna let those ladies use your sleeping bags, either they can share a sleeping bag together, and you two gentlemen take shifts, or you let each one of them have their own sleeping bag, and you watch over them for the night. Or better than that, you fucking send them home, you son of a bitch. That kind of shit makes us all look bad. Lovely Willow typed, I actually did, Jade. Thank you for telling me. Good. Hopefully, you're being sharing of information instead of antagonistic with it, which Jade was absolutely being. It doesn't need to happen that way. Ezra typed, dude, you guys are jerks. Suki Kim typed, I want to give you a hug. Don't cry. Come to America, Suki, and you can. Make me sad. Ezra typed, you and me both, Suki. This is depressing. Happy Easter, Sean. Please get better. It's so dismissive. Lovely Willow typed, I read all of the comments you made on the original post explaining in detail what happened and how her and her sister were helping you. Suki Kim isn't able to stay listening to me, which sucks, but oh well. Lovely Willow 98 typed, what I don't understand is what exactly happened that she started accusing you of stalking her. Well, quick story. I was in Virginia visiting Natalie. And while I was there, her sister insisted on giving me a telephone for my birthday. Her sister worked at the cricket store. So she kept on, like I said, it's bullying. I know you're trying to do something nice. But when somebody says, no, I like my phone, let them keep their phone. It works. but she wanted to give me a gift for my birthday. So she gave me a phone, and she changed over my phone from my phone number from the flip phone to the new Cricket phone. It wasn't a new Cricket phone, it was an old HTC phone that was broken to all hell, and Natalie didn't use it anymore because it had a habit of calling the person that you called last over and over and over again, and there was no stopping it when it come to trying to text message. It just does its own thing and sends it whenever it wants because of where the cracks and the brakes are in it. I didn't even get to see the phone until after Alicia Bollinger had hooked it up in her name, said that she was going to pay the bill. It was my phone number. Literally 10 minutes after she hooked up my phone, she quit her job. That was my gift from Alicia Bollinger for my birthday. It was a couple of days before my birthday that I got it, and it was a couple of days before my birthday that I started having communication issues via the phone. So we're talking about Suki and telling Suki to come to America. We're making it about Suki. Hi, Suki. And obviously, I'm trying to get help with actually turning in this abuse. Making the phone calls by myself doesn't get me. The real Chris Pratt. I don't know why you guys are still prattling on about it. None of that stops the abuse. Matter of fact, it's all taken away from my story. It's March 31st. 30 days ago, I was assaulted by John Napier. 29 days ago, I was assaulted twice by John Stevens. 25 days ago, 26 days ago, I got bullied by Chris Stafford, who, of course, decided to swing at me again. Lovely Willow 98 typed, "You're cutting out really bad." Dalton typed, "I want to help, but I'm a convicted felon." I don't give a shit if you're a convicted felon, you're a witness. If you can see the evidence, if you can look at the videos, you're a witness. It's that easy. Being a felon does not prevent you from being a witness. It doesn't prevent you from coming forward. If you're a felon and somebody shoots your neighbor and you see it, should you be prevented from speaking up because you're a felon? If you're a felon and you're raped, or your daughter is raped, are you prevented from speaking up because you're a felon? Did you know that Ted Bollinger is a felon? Multiple times, matter of fact. I already know what the felon thing comes down to. It's the same thing as people who say, "Oh, well, I'm in the wrong country or the wrong state." It's come down to digging for excuses to do nothing. If you can see the videos, you can speak up about them. If you can read the screenshots, you can share them. Very simple. Problem is, I don't have a friend or family member. If you had a friend or family member this would happen to, you would do something right away. You wouldn't make it about how cool Suki is. You wouldn't make it about the Chris Pratt profile. You'd make it about the victim and the abuse and hearing their story. Let's read all of what Dalton typed, though. He typed, I want to help, but I'm a convicted felon. Not guilty, but they said I was. Would my help be of any use? Yes, it would. I don't think they will listen to anything I say, and that doesn't help me. That tells me that you're afraid that your voice will not be heard. And in being afraid, you're not likely to speak up. You're likely to, every time it's time to speak up, like if I call you because I was literally just assaulted, for help turning it in, chances are pretty good that even if you say that you'll help me to turn it in under that situation, that when I call, you'll say, I'm tired. Can we do it tomorrow? Or I can't. I'm a felon. They won't listen to me. I'm a felon. They do listen to felons. They listen to every felon who tried to pretend that I was a predator. Every single one of them. Saying that you're a felon does not invalidate your words. It does not invalidate the evidence either. The evidence shows that police and the volunteers, as well as many other hangers on due to this slander, did knowingly, willingly, and intelligently commit fraud. That's just a small one. They conspired to deprive me of my rights as a human being. They slandered my name with the intention of having me harmed. They knowingly, willingly, and intelligently prevented evidence from coming forward, omitted evidence, outright lied, twisted my words into things that they weren't. And then, of course, getting the body camera evidence in every one of these situations has been impossible. A savior type Dalton, your voice would speak louder than words. And that's the thing, Dalton. I don't give a fuck if you're a felon. You know right from wrong. Also, in being a felon, claiming that you're wrongfully convicted, I absolutely believe that that is a possibility. That also means that you know some of the tricks of the trade. It also means that you know the inside of a prison. You know what paying rent is. You know how many soups you can trade your roomie for. You know who to press your luck with and who not to. And you know how to get yourself PC'd real quick if you're in danger. You know that your primary abusers in the prisons will never be the other inmates. Any abuse that you endure in prison is sanctioned by the guards, especially if you're in PC. Your voice is mighty, but you have to use it. If you only use it to talk about you and yourself and your woes, oh, woe is me, they won't listen to me because I'm a felon. That doesn't seem like you want to help. You may mean well. A lot of people meant well, but their lack of voice destroyed any chance that they had of helping. Them making excuses to never try. They won't listen to me, I'm a felon. They won't listen to me, I'm schizophrenic. They won't listen to me, I'm bipolar. They won't listen to me, I'm a woman. They won't listen to me, I'm homeless. They won't listen to me, I'm black. They won't listen to me because I'm a middle-aged fat woman. That's right. That was Megan Missigatis who used that one. Alright, so, Lovely Willow 98 type, last thing I was able to hear you say was hi Suki, and now I just hear a ticking noise but can still see you. Rando typed, if you can't be a part of my success, don't try to be a part of my failure. Dalton typed, Lovely Willow, it's just you, I hear him. Suki Kim typed, I warm. Rando typed, I think Chris is real, not gonna lie. I don't care if you think his account is real or not. Rando, I'm just gonna block you. I mean, seriously. This isn't help. It doesn't get me to a safe environment. It doesn't stop the assaults. It doesn't stop the threats. It doesn't get any of this turned in. Lovely Willow 98 typed doll and I left and then rejoined, working again. Thank you for letting me know it was my phone screwing up. Dalton typed, you're welcome, Willow. Rando typed, you should meet my friend Brandy. She's an awesome woman and she's pretty badass against all the hates. You may need her. Well, my name is Sean David Schwartz and I will type here again. Doggedroman@gmail.com is my email address. Ezra typed, who just walked by? The screamer. Door slammer. You can ask Ezra about some of the videos over the last few days at night. This is a very kind and mild night by comparison.
Claire, Sean Schwartz, obviously. I know you said if you don't answer, just keep on calling until you do, but you haven't replied to a message in days. Well, I guess it's still Saturday, technically. Ma'am, I'm really freaked out. I'm taking a lot of hell. I'm doing my best to try to keep in contact with people like I'm supposed to. And the people who say they're going to keep in contact with me, they generally don't. And I understand that people get busy with their own lives and that they have their own things going on, but so do I. So do I. And I'm trying to be helpful too. I'm not trying to be all about just me. But I am overwhelmed with this, man. I'm also worried. I mean, I have to be every time somebody doesn't call, there's a possibility that I disappear potentially permanently. So yeah, I'm freaking out.
There's a lot of stuff from Claire in here. She fears for my safety too over the situation, not just with Gomez. I sent her a lot of evidence. She asked me for the numbers of places that she needs to call to get this information to.
What time is it? I don't have a phone no more.
12:20.
At night.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Saturday, Sunday, what is it?
Sunday.
Sunday. 12:20 on Sunday. Okay. Uh, Perhaps call my phone one last time and somebody stole the motherfucker.
Please leave your message for Muslim Vision.
Hey, Moss, you told me to call your phone, so I called your phone.
Fuck stuff around here. Won't be long now, though. Heads are gonna fucking start rolling. They're gonna fucking roll. You don't never see the fuck out of your ass. I'm gonna fucking go down the fucking highway. Scumbag. Fucking on around here. Fucking real serious. Fucking hate my shit.
I just looked up news for Tillamook since I've been gone, and 3 of those dead bodies were people that could have fucking vouched for me or testified for me. One of them being Preston. So I guess that solves that as of October of last year. Get out of there. Apparently there's someone
Try to power through it and keep showing evidence.
Apparently there's someone yelling in my car about hiring someone to beat them up. Oh, it's Chris Stafford trying to pretend I hired someone to beat him up. 909 PCT. You fucking little girl stalking piece of shit, motherfucker. I told you. The cops are gonna fucking laugh at you, you're a piece of shit. Yep, that literally just happened. That's Chris Stafford. He assaulted me and threatened my life on multiple occasions. Yep, I told you. Who fucking hired somebody to fucking try to beat my ass? Ain't nobody trying to hire nobody. Stop! Stop! Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away from me! No, you can't! Get away from me! 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 Get away from me!
What do you want? Who is that?
Rando typed, "This is kind of scary." Level Willow typed, "Is he breaking shit?" Rando typed, "You should get out of there. I gotta keep my stuff safe too." Willow typed, "What the hell is that dude doing?" Dalton typed, "That guy scares me." Rando typed, "This is scary." Ezra typed, "Stop playing that stuff, RN." Dalton type, does that guy in the background get abusive? Ezra type, scene? Seriously? Yeah, seriously. Seriously, this is my life. Here's one for you. It was Brett Roloff 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You guys typing about how bad it is. No, tonight's a mild night.
You're definitely not going to be shitting out a bag of dope. It'll be an empty bag. And even if you did shit out a bag of dope, I wouldn't want it to be digging through it to get it.
It's called I Came Here for Help, not to see my friend OD. It's my friend Brett Roloff who's going to help me. Instead of helping, he got fucked up on meth the whole time I was there. And in this one, he swallowed a bag that opened up. Random type, this is getting scary. He's unhinged. Case type, this is some crazy stuff. Lovely Willow type, does he harm you? How many people live there? Are you allowed inside? Y'all know it's not safe to answer any of those questions right now. Speaking up publicly puts me in danger. Not speaking up at all puts me in danger. Going to the cops puts me in danger. Doesn't matter his age. "63. This person calling themselves Case is repeatedly typing spam and retracting messages. What do we do with these people? You already know what's going to happen here. Hide user on this channel. Goodbye. When you want me to focus on just what's happening right now with that situation, I don't have that luxury. I don't have that luxury. The courts and the cops don't care about none of this. They care that I tried to tell on them. Chris Stafford doesn't care. What does he care about? He cares that I told about him being a felon, a violent felon, that he was recorded as a felon trying to purchase illegal firearms, that he wanted to bully Amanda, who had a boyfriend, into having sex with her. And when she wouldn't do it, he went all creepoid on her. He's been bullying me ever since. I'm sorry, the volume on this video is so quiet.
Don, call my phone again, please.
Your phone is dead. It goes straight to voicemail.
Somebody fucking stole them, motherfucker. The night you tried to get in the front door a minute ago,
Do what?
was that you tried to get in the front door a minute ago?
No, I'm still in the garage.
Don't try to come in my fucking front door.
Yeah, they tried doing the same thing with the back door twice earlier.
Next time they do that, put a fucking hatchet between your fucking eyeballs.
I'm not going to kill people.
I will. Just wake me up. Not asking to kill anybody. You don't want to kill yourself, but not me or anybody around you. You don't have to do all that shit. And if you want to kill yourself, go ahead, bro. Fucking lame-os around this motherfucking shithole.
He's not as bad as Shannon Alvarado. It's not as bad as Ted Bollinger. Harley Richmond's way worse too. See, Harley Richmond, she'll throw blunt objects at you. She don't care. She don't care if you got guests either. She'll still throw stuff at you. She don't care if it hits one of your guests either. She'll still throw it at you. Dallas Richmond was about as bad. What do they all have in common? Alcohol. Over 50% of murder victims were drinking when they were killed. Over 50% of murderers were drinking when they killed somebody. You literally cannot tell an alcoholic, especially when they're drinking, that they're the problem or that the alcohol is the problem. The same thing with a meth addict. The same thing with a heroin addict. The most volatile are the alcoholics, though. They get stuck on something. Just like Shannon Alvarado was stuck on this paranoid delusion that her boyfriend was cheating on her because 15 minutes that he had to wait on a customer as an Uber driver. She screamed for at least 4 hours a night, every night for 2 weeks about that. Let's see. I'm not trying to ignore you. Let's see. Rando typed, I'm so sorry about this, Sean. The Savior typed, pretend you're asleep. I've tried that. We've all tried that. It didn't work as a kid, it doesn't work as an adult. He's not gonna stop screaming just 'cause I pretend I'm asleep. Lovely Willow type, did he just tell you to kill yourself? Yes, he did. A lot of people do. Get used to it. You gotta have a tough skin on my channel. A lot of people do horrible stuff. Yeah, he just told me to kill myself. Yes. Ezra typed, are you serious, Willow? Willow typed, I have my earbuds in to be able to listen to the guy in the background because it isn't clear. What do you mean by am I serious? Rando typed, this is so tragic. Ezra typed, because I didn't hear it, but if you did, that pisses me off. Yeah, he did. I know you might have noticed that I'm reading what I assume you mean when there's a typographical error. Lovely Willow typed, yes, I'm serious, asking him if that's what the guy just told Sean. Yes, it is. He also told me if somebody goes beating on the door, bury a hatchet between their eyeballs. Ezra typed, pisses. I heard him say he'd kill people. Yeah, this is my life, guys. I hear this stuff all the time. Not just at him. Y'all got no idea. It's a mild night. Ezra typed, I heard him say he'd kill people. Lovely Willow 98 typed the same. That's why I asked, because I'm not 100%. Well, yeah, he did. Xavier typed, Sean said he doesn't kill people. I don't kill people. I'm against killing people. Willow typed, I heard that too. And then he said something right after that to Sean. Rando typed, I'm eating a cheeseburger, Ted Bundy. And then he typed, boy, LeBron, where do I even start? Ever since you joined the league, I knew you were something special, something amazing. Jesus fucking Christ. What's this rando dude doing? He's being a fucking troll. Y'all realize that enduring this, I have to. My evidence is right here.